Is everything okay? Is the sound good? Is the sound fine? Hi. A little bit of a different layout this time. I thought I could make things a little more casual. Hello, welcome everybody. Welcome to the stream. 5x5, cool. I'm not entirely sure what that means, but yeah, okay. Sounds good, looks comfy. Thank you. Hello, Weemy, Ken-san, Gassy, and of course, Stream Element Spot. Right, so this is the first, oh. Oh, and Kaylee, hello. Okay. Welcome to the first stream of 2023 on my end. I would like to mention I have adjusted the audio a little bit. I did a little bit of a crash course, and apparently my microphone's been quieter than normal because OBS's sound values are a little weird. But yeah. Anyway, today is gonna be primarily a it's primarily gonna be a Q&A. With a bit of like it's gonna be a chatting stream, really. That's what it's gonna be. Let me just move my mobile a little closer. Here we go. Actually, no, what? It was supposed to be here. Never mind. I guess we'll go over. I asked people to send questions via Marshmallows. I got about 12. For people who have not been able to send them in, don't worry. You can ask your questions in the chat as well. Don't worry about that. Excuse me. So it's just mainly I'm just gonna try and be a little bit more like do a bit of a general chill kind of thing. And we haven't done a stream like this. I haven't done a stream like this since the fall release party. So, and I'm gonna get question number 1 out of the way. I saw this and I was like, oh my gods, of course. I have a feeling it was Cheshire Comet that sent this to me. Did you know that the critically acclaimed MMORPG Final Fantasy XIV has a free trial that includes the entirety of the board and the award-winning Heavensward expansion up to level 40 with no restriction on playtime? Sign up and enjoy yours yet today! Yes, I do. I played the game for 7 years. I'm not gonna stream it live, ever. Well, maybe I might. But right now, as we speak, it's not really something that's gonna be like straight up into, like, in consideration. Because Final Fantasy XIV is a game I kind of play to shut my brain off. It's been basically like a relaxation game for me for a very long time. And I will only probably really like play Final Fantasy XIV on 14 if people I know want to practice and learn how the game works. But it's not necessarily gonna be something I'm gonna be taking part of. That being said, I was tempted on showing a screen cap of my player character in Final Fantasy XIV because it's something like the game again the game is dear to my heart, even if I probably won't actively play it. But I think I won't do that actually. People who have known me outside of my VTuber activities know 100% who this character is. They're pretty recognizable. But maybe one day I'll play Final Fantasy XIV on stream, but you only shut your brain off once a day, Kaylee, please. I have been getting better at coming back in. For reference, Kaylee is my free company member. So, my free company leader. What? So yeah, free company is basically like guilds for people who have played like, say, World of Warcraft or stuff like that. Anyway, so that's the first question out of the way. Next question is: are there any games that you won't be able to play on stream for various reasons? Something tells me that this kind of like came out because of the whole YouTube TOS change. But as someone who is not actively looking to become a YouTube partner, it's not really something that's like 100% into like in my mind. The one thing that I think I won't ever be able to stream would be like 3DS games or like PS5, like console exclusives. The Switch is an exception, of course, because I have a capture card. But if, for example, it would be like an exclusive on a Sony platform or Microsoft, then I wouldn't necessarily be able to stream it. Like, that's kind of why I really, really hope that the new Hellblade is not gonna be Xbox Series X exclusive, because I would love to play that so damn much as someone who loves Senua's Sacrifice. That's something I might eventually stream, by the way. Apart from that, I'm also probably not going to be streaming games that are like infamous in various way or other, because like I know a lot of people do that as like a batsu kind of thing. I know Ariel had the idea of streaming Sonic 06 at one point, I will still ask her, why are you doing this to yourself? Okay, excuse me. But yeah, it's mainly going to be like stuff that are like going to be difficult for me to do in a technical kind of way. So I can't, for an example, stream something like Kid Icarus Uprising or Super Mario 64 DS. Sorry. But there are also like a lot of other games that are like I kind of don't want to play on stream in any way, shape, or form. Like I know I won't be able to stream or like able to play because I kind of have like a dislike towards, like, kind of gotten disillusion. One immediate example that comes to mind is Pokemon. I mentioned this occasionally. I haven't been a fan of Pokemon for several years. I got burnt out horribly with Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. I played Sword just for the sake of playing it, but I didn't really like it that much, and I don't really like the new model they have going on with, like... I mean, DLC I guess is better than making a third version, but the issue I feel with that is that the Sword and Shield Season Pass was too pricey for my consideration. I am a bit of a hypocrite, as I am probably going to be getting the Order expansion for Splatoon 3, I'm aware. But I guess it's like a kind of sort of like difference between like what do I consider to be worth it, because I kind of am like one of those people that have kind of gotten a little bit disillusioned with Game Freak. And Game Freak themselves has like admitted to having like franchise fatigue and morale were like an all-time low. There were like reports about that, and I should probably move this so that it's not floating. Okay, there we go. So there's like a lot of that. Another one that kind of came into mind is I wanted to be able to play the Bayonetta games, but I don't really think I am gonna do that because I'm not good at hack and slash in general. Elden Ring and Bloodborne and like the Souls games are different in kind of way because they're not as fast. I kind of struggle with games on like higher difficulties. I'm not someone that like immediately like wants to play on the hardest difficulty. You saw me struggle with Resident Evil 7. Really 8? No, with Resident Evil 7. I hope to be able to play that again. I just need to start a new save file on easy mode. I'm so, as a Toho Project fan, I'm so used to like people like considering easy mode to be like a cheater's route. It's I know that's not really that many people that think that nowadays, but it's like I don't really have the time to be able to learn a brand new system in such a short period of time. That's why I occasionally struggle with games on stream. Like, you saw me struggle with Elden Ring as an example, you've seen me struggle with A Hat in Time occasionally, even if A Hat in Time is absolutely fantastic. Reisen has a lot to answer for. Udoge ninaba. The money. Anyway. Excuse me, I don't know what came over me. So it's more so a matter of like, I can't play this, I can't stream this. It's just a matter of like whether or not that would be enjoyable for you guys, because one game that I was considering eventually playing on stream, since it's actually on Steam now, is Fatal Frame 5 Maiden of Blackwater. And it's a really good game, but the topics at hand in the game, because like the Fatal Frame games are known for being very depressing. So the problem is that I'm not sure that would be like 100% something that people will be okay. Oh, thank you, Mimi. I appreciate it. Because like Fatal Frame 5 in particular has like suicide as a general theme. And like death and depression and losing loved ones and not knowing what happened to them, or like struggling to move on, and like grief. There's a lot of that in general. Another game that I would really love to stream, but I know I probably won't be able to ever, would be the first 4 Silent Hill games. Because those are absolutely difficult to find. I know the room is available on GOG.com, but I don't want to get an account on GOG. I don't really want to support CD Projekt Red after the Cyberpunk fiasco. I know that they have tried to repair the damage the release of the launch of Cyberpunk 2077 cost, but it's not enough for me. I also probably won't stream games like The Last of Us for that kind of similar reason. I don't really want to like support companies or studios that like have had that kind of an issue. Of course, Hellblade. I know I mentioned Hellblade, but Ninja Theory has at least proven that they wanna that they have like they're like willing to like continue despite the initial bump in the road that was Capcom forcing them to make the DMC reboot. Okay, let's move on before I go on an even longer tangent. Next is, you've mentioned having chronic health issues. What does that mean exactly? Okay, so this is where I did mention that I was going to be talking a little bit about like generally my health, because it's something that like I've been mentioning a lot on Twitter, and I've been mentioning occasionally in now that I have access to community tab. And basically, oh gosh, where do we start with this? This is gonna be a very long one. I'm not sure if that's something that like we're gonna be going, like it's smart to go into since this is only question 3, but it's better to get it out of the way before we continue. So, to begin with, I was born 10 weeks premature. As an infant in the NICU, I would like to mention that I'm breaking character here, by the way, just to talk about this. And as an infant in natal intensive care unit, I had like a specific kind of apnea that made me unable to breathe during certain like at specific points. So the doctors would always have to be like, the doctors and nurses would always have to make sure that I would be able to start breathing again. And at some point, I believe this might have happened twice. I'm not sure. I haven't really asked my mom about this. But at some point, my mom told me this. Apparently, at least at one point, during one of these episodes of apnea, my heart stopped, and I was actually dead for like a minute or two. They were able to revive me again. They were able to revive me, of course. I wouldn't be sitting here had that not been the case. And growing up, I always had like a fair share like health issues. I had pneumonia when I was 4. I've had seasonal pollen allergies that have thankfully gotten better. One thing that isn't necessarily like related to my physical health, more so related to how I work as a person, is I was diagnosed with being on the autism spectrum when I was 5. This was after my parents both basically said like, pressured doctors and such to look it up and like actually give me an evaluation, because normally women who are on the spectrum will get diagnosed super late in their life, or like as an adult or as a teen. I know this can also happen in general. Really, it's not like exclusive to women on the autism spectrum, but as a result, I've kind of had like a bit of like a difficulty with social cues, and generally, I have like a case of like misophonia. I don't like outside noises. I have to wear headphones most of the time, like whenever I'm out, and I used to like get into like very bad temper tantrum, like very bad like tempers. I was not a well-behaved kid in any way, shape, or form. I was at times I would be very much a bitch, in lack of a better term. It's I was very ill-temperamental. I was very as I got older and as I got older and like in my school years, people would, I think I mentioned this actually in the fall release stream. But I know at some point like classmates and such would actively try to rile me up just to get a reaction. This is something that's still kind of going on, more or less like a affectionate little gesture, like as a sign of friendship. Case in point, Kaylee, I'm looking at you in the chat. But there are still like times when like that can like easily be an issue. And my particularly during my formative years, I got extremely susceptible to stress. I am not in any way, shape, or form manageable to handle stressful situations, social interactions, multiple kind of things. Like I'm not really able to have a day-to-day job like work from 9 to 5 because if I get consumed by stress and worry and anxiety, my body will shut down and tell me like basically like, hey, no, stop that. And that will unfortunately result in me result in my body making it so that it's much easier for me to get sick. Like that's why I get like colds easily. Why my throat occasionally acts up. In general, a lot of those kind of things, most of the time, is more so because of mental problems rather than like actually physical. So my chronic health issues are more so like, it's kind of a combination of like, it's not necessarily my body that's a problem, but it's more so on my brain, and that can like affect multiple things. I'm sorry for being like all word vomiting and being so open about this, but I feel like at times it should be good to talk about this. And also I'm gonna be talking about like generally a little like upsetting topics now. Well, not really upsetting, but it's more like stuff that will get heavier. I did say that I was going to be talking about this. So everybody probably remembers my brief emotional breakdown when I thought my capture card had died in preparation for the Big Run stream. Ever since I was in my mid to late teens, I'd say, or early to mid teens. I don't remember exactly when all of this started. I have had undiagnosed depression and post-traumatic stress. The post-traumatic stress is kind of not necessarily, I wouldn't call it exactly post-traumatic stress disorder, but it's kind of, I have symptoms of that, where like occasionally things really like get, if things like get too heavy, I will automatically think back on those kind of memories. It's nothing really too bad. It's nothing really related to my family or anything. I still love my family. I love my mom. I love my brother. I love my father, especially. I love all three of them. I even love like my extended side of the family, like my mom's husband, my stepbrother. It's more so that I got like horribly heartbroken when I was in high school. I mentioned this in my default stream. When I lost contact with a childhood friend. And what I did not mention was that around that time I was pretty active on Tumblr. And shortly after that incident happened, I wound up like befriending a group of like people online. And in 2014, I believe, I was just straight up cut out of that friend circle. I got ghosted for no particular reason. And that was something that I had actively repressed until like 1 or 2 years ago. I coming to remember that also made me like realize, like, in general, everything I've gone through and just in general, has kind of unfortunately given me the side effect of whenever things get too rough, I occasionally start thinking that I just don't deserve to be happy. Because something, like some kind of greater will tell me that it's not allowed. That I have to keep on suffering because apparently I deserve it. It's not a good like line of thought in any way, shape, or form. But sometimes it can be very, like, occasionally that can just like take over me. And that was kind of what happened. Because a few days, like, when I was streaming Elden Ring that same week as the Big Run debut stream, a Big Run world premiere stream, when the audio disappeared on Elden Ring because of the patch update messing up my plugin on OBS plugin, I kind of just like, I think the combination of both of those events kind of just became too much. And it's kind of like the same with, like, not necessarily the same as with like the one-hand clapping stream. The one-hand clapping stream I privated mainly because I just wasn't really happy with how like mad I became at the end. I can admit that it's because I just kind of, I'm not really that well, like, it's like basically all of my concerns and like all of my mental issues. It's something I want to work with, but I do not want to get active help. I don't want to get any like help from a professional because last time I tried having a therapist, it didn't work well at all. And after some point, the sessions I had back then started to actively hurt me more than actually help. So yeah. So that's the general kind of thing. So yeah, I guess that's it really. It got heavy at some point, but I believe that's like all I really wanted to mention regarding mental maladies and chronic health issues. So that's it really. Oh, that's a good way of making things go back. How did you get into horror movies? Have I mentioned? So, how I got into horror movies. Oof. The thing is, I've been into like spooky stuff since I was like around the same height as this table, basically, or like the shelf in the background, since I was very young, basically. I think it might have all started when I saw like cartoon adaptations of like there was a cartoon adaptation of like a Western animation, like an animated adaptation of the Addams Family. I believe it's from the 1960s actually. That I really, really liked. And also like, you know, watching Scooby-Doo, and there was a lot of like general that kind of things. Like I got like introduced to a lot of like stuff like folklore and like generally eerie stuff. But how I got into horror movies is kind of a different sort of thing. Because that was actually kind of it was actually Papa Mist that got me into horror movies, kind of, because when he was around my age, he would often watch horror movies with his friends, and I wanted like to have some sort of like it's something that like since become like something we have like a unified interest in. Although I will admit that our horror, like what we consider to be good horror movies, are very drastically different. But let me just take a quick drink. Orange juice, folks. So I think I must have been 12 years old when I pestered my dad and was like, I want to watch a horror movie with you. And of all the fucking things that I could have asked to watch with him, I decided to go for the American remake of The Ring. I would like to mention I prefer the Japanese versions, if you remember what I said during my debut. But I don't think I actively got into horror movies until, like, again, when I got a rekindled interest until, like, last year, when I came across Dead Meat's channel. And Dead Meat is absolutely fantastic. Their podcast is amazing. Their kill counts are always very entertaining to watch. Even if you're not into horror, I would recommend. I would actually recommend at least watching 1 or 2 kill counts. I got Gassy on board. Yes, juice. And so yeah, so like now I think I've gotten like a newfound like interest in horror thanks to Dead Meat, but I will also credit Papa Mist for that as well, because like, and now we have that as like sort of unified kind of thing. We're gonna be watching Scream, the new Scream when it premieres, and we're also gonna be seeing Ice Nine Kills live in February. Hey, that's gonna be really fun for their Worst Vacation tour before they're gonna be opening for Metallica. So yeah, that's kind of where that came from. Okay, let's proceed to the next question. Every single time, that's not even the right movie. Scary movie, man. Oh, another question. Hey, nice. You mentioned before that your homeworld is a post-Ragnarök Asgard rebuilt and renamed. Did any of the old Aesir survive, and if so, who? So there were a fair share amount of gods that survived, but there were also like a lot of them that died. From my understanding, there might be some that are like just like wandering, and I have just been wandering ever since, and I haven't met them. Balder is an example. He's primarily just been like doing a pilgrimage across Midgard, I believe. I think so at least. He might just be like occasionally showing up for no reason, really. He shows up occasionally in Valheim, mainly to just like talk to Freya. The interesting thing regarding the old Aesir that actually died is that it was kind of more so like their physical body that died. They're still like present in some kind of form, but they don't actually they don't really have like specific roles anymore. They're primarily just like spiritual watchers in some kind of way, shape, or form. As an example, I'll give an example. Valheim got its name from Odin's realm of Valhall. And because of Odin's death in Ragnarök at the hands of Fenrir, the gates to Valhall has been permanently closed, in comparison to Folkvanger, which is Freya's realm. So currently, as Freya is one of the older, as Freya, one of the survivors of Ragnarök, she is kind of considered the leader by virtue of being the oldest out of the survivors. Balder being kind of a bit like a weird sort of case, since he was dead. He was technically dead for some time. I believe Heider might have also been revived. I'm not entirely sure. And we do also have, she is not Aesir, but she is the teacher of mine. Hel survived. She has been taken care of. But now the difference is that because Folkvanger has been repurposed, she's now basically responsible for anybody that comes into Valheim. So she has like multiple there are like multiple parts of Helheim now. Like Nastron is still for the most vile of criminals. Ran, I believe, she still has her domain for the ones who drowned. But I believe it's been merged with Helheim now. And then there's also, of course, the ones that died of old age, of illness. There's like, occasionally, depending on what day it is, there's like a lot of there are like a lot of people that will arrive via Nagelfar to Helheim. It's kind of alarming, actually. But if we talk about back to my question, Magni, Modi, and Trud, Thor's children, also survived Ragnarök. They kind of have like different sort of duties. Trud is the one who basically picked up Mjolnir. I think basically God of War Ragnarök, kind of. Trud is the one who is like responsible for force duties, just she has less giants to slay. Oh my god, it's gassy, no! I'm not gonna tell Hell that you said that. I've said Freyja, of course. Frey did not survive. He fought against Surtur without his sword, like a smartass. Heimdall has passed, where he fought. Honestly, Hel isn't really that bad. She can take a joke or so, but I think she'd be pretty annoyed. It's like, I've heard that a lot. Of course, also Hel's handmaidens. Gosh, I know the name of one of them, but the other one never talks to me. So Hel has two handmaidens that aren't necessarily Aesir or Vanir. Yeah. Ganglet and Ganglati. They have also survived. They were with Hel when the original incarnation of Naglfar was destroyed in Ragnarok. But they're basically just like, they're her second in commands, really. Magni and Modi are basically responsible for training training warriors. Balder, again, as I've said, is just kind of like a nomad. Whoa. Freyja is like responsible. Freyja and Vidar basically like take charge of like have different responsibilities, but they're basically the ones in charge of the general realm. Freyja is like like basically Vidar became leader by default of being a son of Odin, and also being the one to have killed Fenrir. But he considers Freyja to be the better leader because she has been she's been with the Aesir since she's one of the few connections back to Asgard. So that's kind of how it goes. Leif and Leifdrasir, I believe, the humans that survived, I believe they became the ancestors of your kind of belief, or at least the humans that had like a stronger connection to Valheim in some way, shape, or form. Because sometimes the veils kind of start to thin, and like the flow of time is convoluted, basically. And so it's like occasionally like you might see traces of some of the gods in your world whenever you're like walking, and that's kind of how it goes. I mean, my brother somehow managed to be able to commune with Odin even if Odin's dead. So okay, I think that's gonna be that for that question. Let's see here. Next is, are there any musical groups or artists that are off limits in regards to making a cover? I know you mentioned something similar with movies made by certain directors. Oh, this must have been from one of my Splatoon streams when I mentioned that I was never going to be doing a horror movie party of a Roman Polanski movie. So, the thing about making covers of songs made by artists that I don't want to support in various ways or other, that can occasionally have a bit of an issue, because I would, like, sometimes I have gotten like songs in my head and I'm like, oh, I want to listen to this, and then I remember what the artists have done, or like it's so hard to like, it can be hard for me sometimes to distance the art from the creator. But to do a specific example, I used to be a fan of a rather infamous metal musician, but I don't think I will be ever covering one of his songs. Ariel, Kaylee, and Gassy probably know who I'm referring to, but I'm not going to be mentioning him by name. So stuff like that. Like, would I actually be able to do this justice, or like all that kind of stuff? But when it also comes to like, sometimes it's also just because like I know I'm not going to be able to do their songs justice. Like, as an example, I mean, I've obviously like kind of messed around with occasionally doing covers, like singing Bad Omens. I still want to do that at some point, but it's gonna take quite some time. It's only just a matter of like what's available. Am I a fan of them? Am I able to like make this work? I'm not really a music producer, so I'm not really able to like make instrumentals by myself. I wish to do that one day. But currently as we speak, yeah, it's only like a few that I feel like are off limits. Like, I don't want to make a cover because I don't want to like bring attention to their work. That kind of stuff, because they don't really deserve the attention. There's a lot of that in general. Like, there's even like stuff like that with like there's even video games that I've had like that kind of little issue with. It's like, oh, I really don't wanna, that kind of stuff. So yeah. Okay, let's go to the next question. Oh, another more question. What does being a Valkyria entail? Do all Valkyria have similar abilities, or are they different from Valkyria to Valkyria? So initially, the Valkyria, or Valkyries, as you know them more as, were like they were responsible for ferrying people who have died in war to Valhall or to Folkvanger, so that they could become Einherjar and participate in Ragnarök when the time came. Post Ragnarök, it's kind of gotten a little different, where they're more so just like the guard of Freya now. The guards of Freya. Most Valkyria are descended from the original Valkyries. So for example, Sigrun. Yes, Sigrun. I almost said Sigurd. No. So as an example, Sigrun. Like, God, I don't remember that. It's funny. I would remember these, considering the fact that I've had to have them engraved in my head. Let me just look real quick. Right, so I'd say the only ones that like have not, like, there were several Valkyries that died in the war. As an example, Gunnar passed away. I believe also, I believe that there was talk about an older Valkyrie called Gerskogul, but I'm not entirely certain. There's like so much that's like I don't really know, and Freya won't actually give me like fully on like explanations, because it's clear that like the memories of Asgard and everything that happened in Ragnarök still haunts her to this day. But currently the Valkyria are led by Freya, and her second in command is the descendant of Sigrun, who was her second in command back in the day. The only Valkyria, from my understanding, out of the ones that still have a seat, that doesn't have a direct descendant, is Eir. Not me. The previous Eir, the medic, or the healer. She helped Vidar trying to take down Fenrir in Ragnarök, but lost her life in the process. And her seat was left vacant until I showed up. So yeah, there's that kind of thing. As we're going into Valkyria powers, it is different. We do have some kind of similarities, but it's more so the fact that we're like taught in similar battle styles. We're like taught in like general basic combat training, and then we like get like, okay, this might be a better weapon for you, and this might be a better weapon for this person. As an example, I prefer, excuse me, sheesh. I prefer either ranged combat with magic, usually like shadow or black flame based, or I prefer going with a scythe. And every Valkyria have a different kind of domain as well. Like we have war, we have nature, we have life, we have that. Like those domains basically kind of just like determine what where your strengths could possibly lie, and like who would be the best teacher for you in that case. Because now in Valheim, we Valkyria are basically able to just like move accordingly, and just like, okay, so I think it might be better that you get taught by this person and not me. So Freya basically just like sent me to well, as I already mentioned, she sent me to hell. So daughter contacts if you may. No, but basically, I'm the Valkyria of death. I just wanted to mention that real quick. I have never actually been open about my which domain I'm in, or like what powers I have control of. I have more so control over the balance of life and death, but I'm usually considered the Valkyria of death because we already have a Valkyria of life, that being Gunnar, I believe. I don't remember. But basically, I'm responsible for helping lost souls that have not been able to get to hell in the proper way. I'm basically just like wandering around, hoping to like catching up any stray souls, or like ones that are like too stubborn to want to leave. Or it's like, no, I still have this to do. I'm like, your body is gone. You're dead. You died already. Like, you can't actually think. Basically, like, I'm basically like the loving reaper. Just, I'm not allowed near animals because hell knows that I will just straight up cry. So there's that. It's easier to convince animals, but it's also a lot harder when like, because animals don't really know any better, and I've had to deal with so many like tragic cases with that. So I'm basically just responsible for primarily picking up victims of causalities, or like I'm basically like a little bit like an angel of death that will occasionally show up by your bedside during your last few moments, basically going like, did you have a good life? Are you happy with what you've done? I basically just want to make sure that death is as like, it's not something that you should fear. It's something that I've been like taught for the past few years, and I think my experiences as a child also helped. So there's that. Sorry, I thought someone knocked on my door. Apart from that though, I am also responsible for occasionally helping out with like rituals and festivals around Valheim. Primarily the midsummer celebrations and such. I'm basically just like the one who basically makes sure that everything is going smoothly. And also, I do have a bit of musical knowledge, and that comes in handy quite a lot. Okay, Ziggy, next question. What was the most disappointing horror movie for you that came out last year? Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. I hated that movie. It's either that one or Smile, but I think Bodies, Bodies, Bodies just like pissed me off, and I'm not sure what it is. I'm aware that it's like, it's supposed to be a movie that you're not supposed to take seriously. It's supposed to be a movie that will make you laugh, but for me, it just kind of just like annoyed me more so. And I say this as someone who actually, like, I know a lot of people are gonna say like, what about Halloween Ends? Like, I actually kind of liked Halloween Ends. It's not great, but I understand what they were going for. And I think that's the thing that's more important. Like, you understand what the heck they were thinking. Shitty execution, maybe, but it's not bad. Okay, next. What kind of world is Oops. Yeah, Valheim, as I already explained, it's basically Asgard after Ragnarok. And we still have access to Midgard. We don't have access to several of the other domains. There also aren't that many Jotun that exist anymore. Mainly because of the fact that a fair share of them kind of died in Ragnarok. So yeah, there isn't really much else. There's several like things that still exist from the old times, Lithia Bay as an example, which was actually where I did a fair bit of my Valkyria training before I debuted. I mentioned this in the past when I've said like it's snowing up in Lithia Bay. That's because that was where I was. So yeah, I guess we'll continue then. Tsugi. How did you and Ariel meet? Oh, that's a good question. That's actually a really nice question. I wanted to go into this actually. So I'm gonna say this in without breaking character. So this is gonna be like a little bit of lore as well. So I used to several years ago. I got to know this. I got to know this potion seller, alchemist, and herbalist. We became relatively good friends. And she, after some time, introduced me to Ariel. And funnily enough, it was actually me who inspired Ariel to become a VTuber. I was basically the one who told her like, oh, you can do this potentially, because, you know, she was in audition jail for so long. Hello, John, welcome to the stream. So Ariel and I have known each other for several years, thanks to our dear potion seller friend. Her name is Mint, by the way. She's a very precious person, and without her, I don't think either of us would be here. Mint is not a VTuber, just saying that straight up. But she's dear to us at least. So hope potentially. Nice to meet you, John. Hello. In case I need to, I might as well introduce myself since you are new. I'm Eir Myste, Valkyria of Death and Song. I'm songstress in training and an independent VTuber who is currently doing their first stream of 2023. As for me and Ariel eventually like becoming an actual item, that kind of just like came naturally, I think. So it's hard to explain. We've kind of been an item for a few years now. So, and I'm a dumb who can occasionally not find it easy to convey emotions or such. But yeah, and hopefully Ariel and I will be able to do more things this upcoming year. We do have the Coin of Akans cover that's still in the makings, and also we have some other ideas in mind. So hopefully we'll get there. Hey. Next question. Are there any other song and videos you're planning on making, covers or maybe original? Yes. Short answer is yes. Long answer is maybe. Okay, not maybe. As I've said, it depends entirely on the general state of my physical health and mental health. Because making covers have been like very I've been making covers for a very long time. I've actually been like I've been wanting to work with music for quite some time since I was like very young. But I've had generally very bad stage frights and self-esteem. So at some point that actually made me stop singing properly, like completely, for a few years. Thankfully that's since gone over with, but there is a matter of the fact that like there's a lot that goes into my development process of making covers, because sometimes my voice doesn't like want to gel with me. Sometimes I'm not in the mood to mix. Sometimes my microphone decides to be an ass. There's a lot of that in general. But I do hopefully hopefully I will be able to make more covers this year, because there are so many ideas that I have, and I guess I just really need to like work on making sure to have time to actually do the covers and do the videos. I actually did download DaVinci Resolve Fusion so I can potentially have more effects. I still can't really pay for a shoes subscription, but maybe one day that will be a thing when I actually will be able to use it. So hopefully I will be able to showcase some more covers. It's just a matter of when, not really so much if. Next question is... Oh, now we're going back. Well then, okay, yeah, that seems to be all of the ones, so I'm gonna just hide this. Okay. So, that's all of the questions from the Marshmallow. Again, if you would like to ask any questions, then definitely feel free. I think I'm gonna be streaming for a little bit longer, so don't worry about it. That being said, though... No, I already showed it off on Twitter, so I might as well wait until tomorrow. But, for people who have not seen my tweet regarding it, I do have a bit of a... If I can find it, it would be nice. I do have sneak peeks of tomorrow's stream. Well, sneak peeks is in more like, oh hey, you can get to see this. Keep in mind that these are like in generally crappy quality. The boba? Honestly, I just put it there for no particular reason. I might drink it after I've finished streaming. So basically, Miitopia, which I'm gonna be streaming tomorrow, is a game that basically is... You can have your Mies in an RPG party. It's actually pretty cute. Now then, let me just casually make a new folder with my... I almost wrote snack peeks in the folder. That was fun. Let me just... God, I have so many folders. This isn't great. Okay, let me make another image slideshow. Let's... So basically what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna be... Oh, shoosh, that's big. Sorry. So basically what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna be showing off what you will potentially like the sneak peeks of my first party, because spoiler alert, this game was initially released in 2014. I don't think I need to say it's a spoiler. The same energy as people saying like Evangelion came out in 99. I think you'd had enough time to catch up now. Anyway, so basically I'm gonna be doing it basically as like just your usual RPG kind of thing. Can you see clearly? Keep in mind I took these photos with my phone cam intentionally. So anyway, so here's my me. That's me. That's what I'm gonna go for. The wigs were very limited in terms of options, so this was like the best that I could do. I'll get the right resolution, it's fine to see. Cool. Yeah, it's I had to take like don't be like me and take a photo of your photo off your screen photo off my screen, photo off your screen with your cam. So that's me. Here is team member number 1. You can already guess who it is. Unfortunately, two-thirds of the party accidentally found out. It's like, oh shit, it's me! So, this is Ariel. And this is Lily Lyrical. Lily Lyrical is an awesome VTuber creator. They're gonna be test streaming on Twitch next week. So yeah, party member number 3, however, is one that you will probably not really recognize because they've shown up in my chat once or twice, and I have a little bit of a running gag with them regarding a certain character in a game that I've actually played on stream. But I'm not going to be out revealing who they are. You can probably already guess a little bit based on color scheme and on the general hair, although I did have to take liberties to make sure that the party member number 3 and Ari wouldn't have the same hairstyle. So, yeah, that's gonna be the general sort of gist on what you will be seeing in Miitopia tomorrow. While we're at it, actually, I might as well show off my new gaming overlay. Although, let me... do I have Spotify on this one? Oh, shoot, I do. Oh, Anyway, this is my new gaming overlay. I decided to change it a little bit because I was just kind of being a little annoyed with how little space, with like how much empty space I had. So it's a lot cleaner, it's a lot clearer. Case in point, here you go. This is the black screen that will come up whenever I enable my Switch capture card. The chat will stay the same, it's just a little smaller. My logo is still down there. The only difference really is that it just looks a little different. I want to thank Lyrical and Shishiro Botan from HoloLive for giving me the inspiration. Hopefully this will actually wind up looking good. Also, I have screens. I have screens for whenever I have to hide, because I do want to keep the remaining party members and some NPCs secret. Because some of them are actually characters that I casually just came up with, like, oh, this could work. Because I know Utopia is like very much like a Mad Libs kind of game, where like the comedy comes from, oh, this is actually kind of silly, like Batman might have wound up being the village mayor or something. But I'm also kind of someone who wants to, like, the game is obviously not serious at all. But I want to try and make it a little more serious. So that's kind of. Let's go back to chat. Okay. Whoa. I also might as well like talk a little bit, because there was some things that happened while I was playing Elden Ring off stream that kind of just like, oh, whoops. I'm just trying to position myself. Any plans for collabs? I do really want to do more collabs. It's just a matter of making sure they work, because most of the people I know are in different time zones, and it's like very difficult for me to try and like, since I don't live by myself, it's kind of difficult for me to actually be able to make that work. Hopefully one day I will be able to do more collabs, but it's more so a matter of like, I'm also really hard to like, it's difficult for me to like talk to people about like whether or not to collab. It's easier to approach me first, because I will usually say yes. Just straight up, I will say yes. And just like, oh, of course it does depend. Hopefully more collabs will be planned. It's more so just a matter of like trying to make them work, because of the whole, like, I can't stay up like too late or get up too early, because my body will not be awake. And I don't want to kind of like, I remember being part of Ariel's Donovan collabs with Phasmophobia, and I was only really able to do one session. It was basically, I came, I saw the ghost, I died, I left. So I don't really want to do that again. So it's kind of like, being in a European time zone can make it a little difficult to actually be able to outright plan them. But it's something I want to do. I want to do more collabs. It's just, I really need to make sure to like put some time in, and like maybe one day I'll get over my fear of like talking to people, actively like outright asking people or approaching people. But that's gonna be very hard. Ooh. So that's like a high hope to do this plan. But some definitive plans for this year that I have is more variety in what I'm streaming, because I've been streaming I streamed a lot of Elden Ring at the end of the year, and like it's simple, I got addicted. I'm still kind of addicted. But now I actually like kind of like resorted to like just doing co-op and like not progressing with the story. I'm like basically just helping people out with bosses. So continuation on that on Wednesday it's gonna start with a rather long tirade on what's been happening. Apart from that, I hope potentially to be able to do some kind of cooking stream. The only problem is that I have a stationary computer, and so I'm not entirely sure. I don't have enough cameras or microphones, so I'm not really sure how I will be able to do a cooking stream as a VTuber. Maybe at some point I will be able to do that, but I'm gonna have to look into it. I might potentially maybe use Twitter Spaces for it, so people can talk, but it's just like a matter of like, because you can't actually comment, as I've already mentioned. Yeah, people have been very curious, like, people have been occasionally kind of curious over, well, not really outright, I don't really share my cooking that much, but like, cooking has been like a pretty, like, close, like, it's something that, like, everybody in my family has had, like, some kind of passion for, like, talent in. Mama Myste, Papa Myste, and my brother have all worked in restaurants in various ways, although I believe my brother has worked as a bartender more so. I might ask him, actually. Nah. Or maybe... wait. I was half tempted to go and fetch him from the living room, but I don't think I will. I will let him relax because he's had a bit of a day. So for reference, for people who haven't really looked at my Twitter or don't have social media, my younger brother, Sigurd, he's temporarily moved back home for 3 months due to renovations in his apartment complex. So he's staying here for some time. So he might eventually wind up showing up in my streams. I don't think he will, but yeah. That's just kind of that. That's where that goes. But I might as well show off something I actually did quite recently. Tell Sig I said sup. I will certainly try. I would like to mention Sigurd isn't his actual name, it's just what I call him. Oh, whoa. Hold on. What the? Did not intend for that to just show up like all that massive. But yeah, I might as well show off like the most recent like experiment I did. Around the time that I actively started using my YouTube channel, I got into like I started to like watch no! I started to watch this occasional cooking VTuber. Like she's in general like she's actually close on opening and she's ready to open up her own restaurant. I don't think my Papa Myste's font got still. I think he would be dead if he did that. Anyway, so I wound up making that YouTuber's sesame and chocolate chip and chocolate cookies. When I say sesame, I'm referring to tahini, of course, tahini paste. There's like it was kind of like chewy quality. I actually really like them, so I've done them twice. This was the result from the first time I did this. So it's stuff like that that I hope to be able to able to do. Like not outright like just like complicated cooking, but just like casually following recipes and that kind of stuff, because I don't really have my own recipes. So at least I think Papa Myste worked in a restaurant at some point. He's a really good cook at least. So so that's kind of why I'm just like assuming that he did that, because but also I have never really properly worked in a restaurant, so and apparently I'm like one of the better cooks in the family, which says a lot. But yeah, Mama Myste is probably the one with the most skills. She's worked as head chef, as sous chef, like she's basically just been everything and everything you could be. Although then again, she also made mustard gas at one time during spring cleaning. So that's a story for another day. Let me see here. Is there anything else that I could show? Oh! Right! There is something that I would like to show potentially as a... Oh! I can do this game. I'm just gonna make sure to not accidentally just like... have that right up your game. Right up in your... So... I don't want to really be like pipelined as the person that plays plays Souls-likes all the time, but it is apparently a genre I really, really love. So one game I played in the past that I would love to play again is Code Vein. This was a character I used in my PS4 run, and I bought the game again recently when it was on sale. Code Vein is like anime-esque Vampire Souls. It's made by the devs behind God Eater, so hopefully I'll be able to actually like showcase, like show that game to you. Like stream that. The only problem is I'm very rusty at that game, and I don't really remember 100%. There's like a lot of jank in that game. So, here's a better look at my Revenant as well. That was before I initially gave her the blue eye for plot reasons, but I removed it for my current playthrough. Her name is Saya. This is just like, this is basically just today. It's just now it's basically just like, oh, I can just like showcase what I would like to do. Let me see here. Anything else that I can do? Oh right, I do have a fair share of screen caps from my latest learning sessions. So, let me see here. Okay, the elephant in the room. I'm gonna be talking about this on Wednesday as well. It's gonna be jumpscare coming in 3, 2, and 1. I accidentally stumbled into a boss room while going through Lanedale to take advantage of not having frame rate dips, and I killed this guy. Thankfully, there wasn't really anything else important after that I did. I've been mainly just like clearing out side caves ever since. But, yeah, I did do that, and, am I proud of it? No. I legitimately did not expect a boss in there. Apart from that, also, I defeated... Yeah, accidentally too good at the game. Yeah. Apart from that, I also defeated the Ancient Dragonland CX after accidentally stumbling onto her, using Latenna. And she wound up soloing the fight, because I kept getting, like, distracted by sheep. So there's that. But apart from that, also, we have... I got, like, a cookbook from Gideon after finding Moog. A little bit too early. And, Selen... This questline has also been preceded. I was able to find a body for me to put her soul into. So, I'm probably gonna be doing a detour for Elden Ring and progress through her questline. There was one more thing in regards to Selen, I believe. If I can find that screen cap would be nice, but I don't think I have it in... Oh yeah, here. So the guy who was in charge of the Radon Festival was responsible for basically just killing Selen's host body. And from my understanding, Selen might actually not really be like a good person. So I guess there's gonna be like some kind of dilemma there, like I have to decide whether or not to side with her or actually kill her. So there's that. There's a lot of kind of things, and like there's like so many stuff and so many things in Elden Ring that I accidentally progressed through without thinking about it. Mainly because I just really like this game. I really like the game. Like I don't think I've been this passionate about a game since Bloodborne came out in since I purchased Bloodborne in 2016. Never mind. Yeah, gaming hard. Woo! It's actually easier for me to do like a little bit of progress off screen because of the game is so long. There's a lot in the game, and like I don't want to like as much as one of the biggest enjoyments of Elden Ring is the whole thing of like, oh, experiencing the streamers, the many depths of streamers. I kind of am not really keen on doing that. Like I want there to be at least a somewhat smooth experience, at least until we get to Malenia, because I've heard of that person, I've heard of that woman, I know what she can do, I have seen people fight against her and how long that can take, and no, I think we'll save the frustration for her, because she is gonna be probably my nightmare. especially since I'm a hybrid caster. Nightmare. So there's that. I might be able to like find some kind of way to like make her easier, but I'm also aware that like people fight Melania solo, so the game was clearly like in a way balanced to use Spirit Ashes. So, or I could just eventually just find let me solo her. Don't think I will, but it would be funny. So yeah. Sorry, just trying to figure out what the heck I was planning on talking about next, but my head, my brain. Oh yeah, there was one thing. I think, actually, now that I think about it. Okay, so, let me head to gaming real quick and just set things up. So, people probably remember a while back, like when I streamed Katamari Hospital, that I wound up making a tier list of my of the various monsters with my own special criteria. So I thought, why not go back to that? Oh gosh, help! Forgot how I set things up. Okay. Also, don't ask about the many tabs I have. Please. Yeah, the ironic jump scare is... Yeah, I'm just gonna do this. And then move myself up a little bit. Okay. I might have to zoom in a little bit, actually. Okay, yeah, people can see now. So, this is what we had after Katamari. I would like to mention, I have still not necessarily been able to encounter any of the exclusive endless mode specimens, but that's because I've not really been able to find them. So I'm only really going to be adding in the dollhouse variants. The dollhouse, well, monster creatures. So we'll go... This one is gonna be in Piss Me Off. It's actually gonna be the first one since, like... I think it's because it gave me the game over in endless mode when we tried it. And also... it just... I don't know, I think it just grew to be annoying after some time. It's like, it's hard to explain. It's like, it's not bad, it's just... It does its job okay. That's kind of what it does. Okay. Next is... I believe it was you that I wound up meeting. I'll put you in decent, I think. Because, like, it's not... It wasn't really... I mean, it was a bit of a threat, honestly. But I kind of just, like... I think at some point I just got so good at, like, dodging it. It was that simple. The crucified doll in the basement is gonna be memorable though, because that entire segment was really bad for me. Well, not necessarily bad, but it was just more like, oh fuck. There was like a lot in that was just like, ah. And this is going in lives rent free because of the clown check. Like, I might as well show off one of my favorite videos. I'm just gonna try and find it actually. That's the wrong thing to enable. Okay, so this is a Vinesauce clip. From when he played Dollhouse. There's no volume in the— oops. Let me try that again. I guess I must have forgotten to enable that. Give me a moment. Ah, there it is. Yeah, I forgot to add in my nested audio scene. Okay, let me try this again.
Should I check the clown? Alright.
I forgot to enable the sound as well on the
The clown has checked me. Fuck the clown. Don't actually do that. Really, here too, man? Can you brush your teeth?
So yeah. There was that. I just wanted to show that off before, just in case. Yeah, clown's having a good time, but it definitely existed. Where's my things? Don't concern yourself. I basically just had my stream up in another tab just to make sure everything was okay, so I don't have to double check and triple check and everything. Okay, so that's why clown is gonna be living rent free in my head, even if that hasn't happened to me. It was still kind of memorable. And this one apparently shows up after a certain period of time, or like when your doll is like not doing great. But I've never encountered it, so that's why I'm just gonna put it in this existed. So, from my understanding, it was apparently pretty nightmarish, so I can't really be able to do much based on like just the one thing. You know? Okay. Now we can remove the browser. And I can... There we go. Okay, back to chatting. What? So yeah, I think that's mainly it. We got through the questions relatively fast. And I've been talking about like what I potentially would like to do this year and whatnot. And yeah, I don't really think there is much else. That being said, I've also looked at the results. I've been primarily looking at the results of the street poll to see what else got like a relatively decent amount of votes. And And I did notice that several people were interested in Xenoblade 1. And I'll take that into consideration. It should be noted that if I ever do stream the Xenoblade games, I will not be streaming 2. I don't like Xenoblade 2 at all. It's one of the more frustrating games. It's like probably the game that I consider to be the weakest. If you like it, cool. I don't. No offense. It's just I just kind of have like issues with the game as a whole, and I'm not entirely sure why that is. It's just there's a lot behind it. There's a lot in there. There's like it's like a combination of the character designs, the just like the general vibe. It got a little too anime for me. But Xenoblade 3 has looked really good and promising, so hopefully I'll be able to stream that. I also really want to stream Hollow Knight at some point. It's a game that I really like. The issue is just the fact that like that's again something I'm not. I've been playing it occasionally, and like I can get lost like a lot in that one. But hopefully that shouldn't really be too much of a problem. It's just, you know, it's a matter of exploring and enjoying the world, and if you're having fun, then you're probably not lost. There's also Monster Hunter World, which I would like to stream. I could even like stream it by myself. I know Ariel is a Monster Hunter veteran, and she hasn't actually played much of World, so that could be something we could potentially go through. But I'm gonna have to figure things out, like as an example, how to make my gosh darn cat in the Palico character creation, because if you've seen photos of my cat, you know how difficult it is. I'm gonna see if I can find a photo of her. You've heard Luna you've heard me occasionally talk to my cat on stream, and then sometimes occasionally just like there was at one point I do believe you even like straight up heard her protest meow. But you never actually, I think it's been a while since I've actually showed a photo of her. Because Luna is a very cute cat, but trying to make her in Monhan's character creation is that is not the right. Whoops. Where is the image? Ah, there it is. Here she is. This is Luna, my little sprite. This is the best photo I can take of her because she won't ever sit still. But yeah, I've had her for about 2 years. She's precious. She can be a little irritating, a little annoying, but I think she'd be a good little Palico for eventual Monhan World stream. I do also want to play Rice at some point, but I need to get it for PC. I have it on Switch, but from my understanding, it looks actually better on PC, and also like it runs fairly well. So I might actually just cave in and buy it twice. The good thing is that I don't have Sunbreak, so on either platform. So it's like it wouldn't really matter which one I'd eventually get the game, what I'd eventually get the game. I get the picture. There's like a lot of general like games in my catalog that I should probably deal with. Like I have Lost in Vivo that I mentioned that I wanted to play at some point. That's also an Akumakita game. There's Hellblade, of course. I could even eventually like just boot up Silent Hill Homecoming and play that again. I haven't played that in several years. It's a janky game. It's a bit of a janky game, but it's okay for what it is. Basically. So yeah. Oh, hello, Kimberly. Welcome to the stream. And I have never seen you before, so pleasure to meet you. Pleasure to meet you. Do believe. Of course, I can also always like try and just. Thank you so much. So yeah, there's like a lot of general like little things I would like to do. So we'll see where that goes. But for now, I believe I have been streaming for like almost an hour 30 minutes. No worries, no worries. I'm just glad to have you here. So I think this might be a good as time as any to try and wrap things up a little. Mainly because it's I need to start. I'm gonna stream a little earlier tomorrow from Utopia. I could actually talk a little bit about the general theme ideas I had for my teams in that game. So, party number 1 in Utopia is, yeah, I am already wrapped up. I'm aware. Party number 1 in Utopia is, of course, as you can see, VTubers that I know and I have known for a bit and like I consider dear to me. Party member number 2 are people that I'm close to but aren't VTubers or not active in the community in any way, shape, or form. Party member number 3 has a connection, is unified towards, is basically party members that have something in common with me. That being, you know, doesn't necessarily have to be games I play or such, but in general, just keep that a little bit in mind. So yeah, I'm looking forward to see you for Metopia tomorrow at about 3 p.m. CET. And if not then, I will probably see you for Elden Ring on Wednesday, ahead in time on Thursday, or Journey on Friday. And I'm definitely looking forward to playing Journey this week. It's one of my absolute favorite video games, and I will talk a little bit about why it's so dear to my heart by the time when we get to that day. I hope to be able to be more active with streaming this year. There were at some point I got like a bit. Thank you so much. Yes. I'll hope to see you tomorrow as well, Kimberly. Again, welcome to the 8 Headshot. So, thank you so much, everyone. What's the do? And I will see you tomorrow. Johnny. Oh, I didn't mute my microphone at the end there. Good start. Good start. That's it.